Here we go.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're well. You amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. It's not. I nearly said it's Wednesday. It's fucking not Wednesday. It's Tuesday, and this is video free. Free for Tuesday. Better than Domino's here, baby. Better than Domino's. If you've been watching the news, then you're pretty much going to have seen the California wildfires. It's everywhere, and we're front row seats of the devastation that comes from not being prepared. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And what we see from, I'm in the UK, and we're seeing the US become victim of exactly what they do in the UK, and that is failing to sort your own fucking house out before you start helping other people. We've heard of the multiple situations where the US has sent not only money that they apparently don't have. Again, it happens here in the UK. We don't have money to keep our elderly warm, but we can send it everywhere fucking else. And look, the US have been helping other people in other countries to the tune of billions while systematically fucking their own infrastructure. They've even donated firefighting equipment that has left them short of firefighting equipment that they need. Now, Trump, we're going to go into this, and we're going to talk about diversity in the fire department as well, because the world loves talking about diversity, and there's been some insanity around diversity and kind of the emergency services in the US, which we'll dig into in a second. But look, who's being blamed for the fire? Who's being blamed for the fire? A fucking wind. Wind's fault, mate. Wind's fault. Dangerous winds expected to amplify California wildfires as death toll hits 24. So people can look at all these fires. There's literally images of people looking out their window and there's literally fire outside their house. It's like Armageddon. And they're going to look out there and think, fucking wind did that. Wind did it. Look, the wind has played a massive factor, but don't get me wrong, if you had water, which stick a pin in it, because we're going to look into that in a second and see if Trump was right. So they if you had water to fight it, you'd be able to fight it with water. If you had equipment, you'd be able to do that. If you had enough firemen and fire ladies, and again, we'll get into that in a second. If you had everything you needed in place, it probably wouldn't have got this bad. Again, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Warning of particularly dangerous situation with gusts expected, as LA fire chief says. We're not in the clear yet. Not in the clear. There's some horrendous pictures as well. There's some horrendous pictures. Look at some of this, look, which we'll get into this article in a second, but look at it. What a fucking shit show. What a shit show. But look, wind played a part, but wind didn't cause this. Wind didn't cause it. Firefighters battling the disastrous wildfires around LA were prepared for a return of dangerous winds that could again stoke the flames as the death toll in the tragedy has hit at least 24. Fierce gusts known as Santa Ana winds have been largely blamed for turning the wildfires into devastating infernos that leveled huge tranches of neighborhoods around America's second largest city, which has also been hit by drought. I wonder what did that. When they say drought, are they going to blame Mother Nature now? Or could it have potentially been getting rid of fucking water reserves? Diverting water. Again, stick a pin in it. The National Weather Service has issued a rare warning of a particularly dangerous situation beginning overnight on Monday into Tuesday, with severe fire conditions through Wednesday. There could be sustained winds of up to 40 miles per hour. That's 64 kilometers, by the way. And gusts in the mountains reaching 70 miles an hour. That's like 100 kilometers an hour, that is. That's some fierce winds. We're not in the clear as of yet. We must not let our guard down. You let your guard down before this happened. This is a bit like closing a stable door after the horse has bolted. The LA Fire Department Chief Kristen Crowley said during a Monday morning news briefing, officials urged residents to preemptively make evacuation plans and said, in order to avoid gridlock, people should leave where they receive evacuation warnings rather than waiting for an order. So look, was Trump right? Let's just take a brief look at this. Let's have a brief look at this. Why is this trying to block me from reading it? Get off the screen. Get off the screen. Here we go. Look. This is U.S. President-elect has leveled a string of allegations against California Governor Gavin Newsom. I think he's called him New Scum, who has slammed Trump in turn for politicizing human tragedy. Has he, though? Or has he just raised issues that did exist? A political spat has erupted between U.S. President-elect Donald Trump and California State Governor Gavin Newsom over the wildfires that claimed at least 24 lives and torched swathes of Southern California. In a series of incendiary posts on his platform Truth Social, Trump has accused Newsom's administration of failings in preventing and responding to the fires. One of the best and most beautiful parts of the United States of America is burning down to the ground. Its ashes, and Gavin Newsom should resign. This is all his fault. Newsom has tried to appease Trump in a letter inviting him to survey the damage in LA, but he has also warned the incoming president from using human tragedy for political gain and from spreading disinformation from the sidelines. Did Newsom fail to sign a water restoration declaration? Amid reports of water shortages for firefighting efforts, Trump claimed in a Truth Social post that the governor had failed to sign a water restoration declaration that would have allowed millions of gallons of water to flow into the affected area. Newsom's office responded by pointing out that there is no record of such declaration. So they haven't turned around and said, it's not true. They're just saying, prove it. We got no record of such a thing happening. If it's not written down, it didn't happen. It is believed Trump is referencing a proposal made during his first presidency to redirect water from a Sacramento I'm not even going to say that. Is the Joaquin Delta in the north of the state to farms to urban areas further south. Newsom opposed the plans, and his administration mounted a legal challenge against them, citing concerns over endangered species in the Delta, including salmon and smelt. According to Trump, Newsom, wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt. Speaking with NBC News, Newsom said that connecting the Delta smelt issue to a fire was inexcusable because it's inaccurate and incomprehensible to anyone that understands water policy in the state. Well, we do know this. You need water, you don't have it, and the place is burning to the ground. Trump seemed to link Newsom's position on the diversion of Delta waters to the reported shortages in water available for firefighting efforts. But the Water Scarcity Director for U.S. nonprofit Natural Resources Defense Council, Mark Gold, told CBS News that the spat over the transfer of Delta waters has nothing to do with what amount of water we have stored within the region. The Metropolitan Water District has a record amount of water stored at this time, Gold added. What are you doing with it then? Because you're not using it to put these fucking fires out. Other local officials are reported to have described power cuts as the main obstacle to using water pumps in the affected areas rather than water shortages. Bless me, I've still got a cough. And Trump has also drawn attention to how fire hydrants, which allow firefighters to tap into the water supply, had no water left in them. His claim is partly true. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has said that at one point over the past week, 20% of the city's fire hydrants were dry. I'm not even saying that. Janice Quinones, chief engineer of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, said last Wednesday that at 3 a.m. that morning, all of the fire hydrants went dry in the Palisades, the wealthy suburb of Los Angeles and one of the most areas affected by the wildfires. Governor Newsom has ordered an independent investigation into the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, DWP, over the issue. He said, while water supplies from local fire hydrants are not designed to extinguish wildfires over large areas, losing supplies from fire hydrants likely impaired the effort to protect some homes and evacuation corridors. Newsom also described reports of dry fire hydrants as deeply troubling. In a letter addressed to the heads of the LA Department of Water and Power and LA County Public Works. And it says, will Trump inherit a budgetless FEMA? Look, at the end of the day, they're going to need a lot of money. And have they got it left? Does the money actually exist? Look at it right there. That's a bit of a shit show, isn't it? All that water burned. All that water burned. Will Trump... Well, Will he have enough money to repair everything? Will he have enough money to repair everything? You tell me. You tell me. I try and stay away from politics because it's a fucking minefield. But what I do know is that it seems that the US, again, as aforementioned, you're seeing what happens when you look after the neighbours before you look after your own house. Remember when you're on an aeroplane, where do you put the oxygen mask? Do you put the oxygen mask on everyone else and then put your own on? Or do you put your own on first, then look after everyone else? Maybe this should be a lesson to people. Learn to look after yourself. Make sure that you've got all the resources that you need. You've got all the money. You've got everything that you need before you start helping other people. And just to finish up, we're just going to take a look at this because I did find this quite funny. It says, across the US, big businesses are quietly ditching their diversity programs. Perhaps now the country's public services will follow suit because the LA wildfires appear to have awoken the American public to the downsides of diversity, equity, and inclusion, aka the DEI. For example, Fox News have reported that while LA officials were cutting millions of dollars in funding from the local fire department, hundreds of thousands of dollars were located to initiatives promoting diversity, such as a queer choir, known as the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles, and something called the Midnight Stroll Transgender Calf. Almost as extraordinary is a video from 2019 in which the woman in charge of the DEI at the Los Angeles Fire Department explains why the emergency service needs a diverse workforce. And during this video, which is currently going viral online, Deputy Chief Christine Larson makes two comments that are downright mind-boggling. First, she airily dismisses those who worry that women aren't physically strong enough to be firefighters. People, she sniffs, often say, you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire. To which apparently she retorts, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? That if it is your husband's fault if a female firefighter is incapable of lifting him? What's the poor man to do if he finds himself trapped in a burning fire? Embark on the world's fastest ever crash diet until he's light enough for her to pop him under her arm like a mulberry clutch? Even more absurd, however, is Mrs. Larson's other argument in favour of workforce diversity, because she claims that when a fire engine or an ambulance arrives at your home, you want to see someone that looks like you. Really? I don't know about LA, but in Britain, I doubt that anyone calling 999 says, oh, and by the way, I refuse to have my life saved by a white fireman. I insist on being rescued by a fireman of colour. So if you don't have anyone currently on staff, I'll happily wait until you've trained one up. That would be mad enough. But imagine if the caller were white. When I get to hospital, I demand to be treated by staff that look like me. So white doctors and nurses only, please. None of these black or Asian ones. We'd be fucked in the UK because the majority of doctors are not white. Fucking joke, innit? Anyway, let me know what you think down below. What is going on in the world today? What really is going on in the world today? Are we simply preparing to fail by failing to prepare? We help everyone else. We'll just all burn to the ground. Everyone else will be alright. At least we'll have somewhere to go if we can get there. Love you all. Mwah.